Alright, welcome to Riding Mower King. Finally getting to make another video about what came in this week, and it's kind of really what came in this month. Because it's winter time, so riding mowers come in at a pretty slow rate nowadays. So the first one we got here is this Craftsman, made by MTD. It's a PYT9000. It's kind of their top of the line riding mower. 50-inch deck, 26 horsepower. Briggs & Stratton Professional, and it is hydro, and it's in operating condition. It's got a noisy pulley on the back. When you take your foot off the brake and the drive belt tightens up, it almost sounds like the transmission, but it's actually just an idler pulley or a tensioner pulley for the drive belt. Second one is another MTD, says Craftsman on it, LT1500. This is just about the lowest entry level that you can get. It is a 42-inch deck, but it does have the entry-level Mower engine. And this one, it seems like the lower crank seal must have came out because there's oil all over the deck, all over the pulley underneath, and you can't turn it. So it kind of locked up the engine. The engine's probably repairable. You get another connecting rod and you clean up the journal on the crankshaft. It's probably savable. You know, the rest of the engine looked like it was pretty good. And this is, you know, basic forward, neutral, and reverse. And it's going to have a lever over here. Yeah, this one says 7 speeds. You know, so it's got the standard single-speed transmission. So now here's the other side of this Craftsman LT1500. You have your typical MTD shifter there, forward, neutral, and reverse for their single-speed transmission. That style they've been using for a couple decades right there. It's nice and basic, and I don't know that I've ever had a bad one of those transmissions. Usually the belts are worn out. And here we can see the other side of this Mower engine. Now this one's labeled Craftsman. It all depends on what tractor they put it in. You know, if this was a Troy built, I would say Troy built on the engine. Very seldom do they actually put Mower on there. But it's not a Kohler Courage, it's a Mower. You know, some people think it's a little more favorable. And a 42-inch deck. And over here, now these are 7 speeds. But it's really a single-speed transmission. Those there speeds, that's a setting for how far back that foot pedal is going to come. And that's going to determine how fast you go. So, you know, you get 7 different speeds, forward and reverse. Most tractors only go 1 speed in reverse. These here will go fast in reverse if you really want. And now here you can see the third one that came in. And this is an oldie but a goodie. This is like a 1420 Cub Cadet. 14 horsepower Kohler Magnum engine. It's a 38-inch deck. It is hydrostatic. You have your handle up here on the dash. Here we'll take a look at the engine. So here we can see the engine, Kohler Magnum. You got your carburetor on the front there. Luckily, this still has the complete air filter assembly. You know, sometimes that stuff gets lost. And then here's the model number for this thing. I didn't look it up, but I'd be willing to bet it's a 1420, being it's a hydro. Maybe a 1415. Overall, it's not in too bad a shape. There you can see the deck is not horrible. Maybe a couple little rust holes in it. It's got a good seat on it yet. Now there should be decals on the hood there on both sides that say Cub Cadet and the model number, but they're just not there. One flat tire that's off the rim. Oh no, we got a bad reflector. But the 2 back tires do seem to be holding air pretty good. A nice strong transmission there. And here's, like I said, you got the hydro control here, forward and reverse, however fast you want to go. You know, it's nice and convenient right by the steering wheel, not down on your fender. This was, you know, before they had foot pedal control for the transmission. And you got some warning lights there. You got your battery gauge and your electric switch for your PTO. So back in the day, this was a pretty nice tractor. And it's actually pretty much all complete. I think with a little bit of work, that could be cutting grass again. And then here's the top of the line for a riding mower for Craftsman. Now, if you look at the way this hood is shaped, all the features on it, all the plastic, the headlights, everything. Got one little hole there. It's the same hood that's on this. You know, so that's just kind of a trim piece, really. You know, I've had Troy builts that looked exactly the same. It's just a different color. And there's probably some Cub Cadets with that same hood there, too. Now, this one's a little bit different. I'm not used to seeing this throttle and choke all in one lever on a V-twin. You know, that's how they've done single cylinder engines forever. But now with a V-twin, they have everything all on one lever. They finally figured out a way to actuate the choke with the throttle cable. Normally, a V-twin would have a separate choke. The previous owner said that the oil is dripping on the exhaust. There you can kind of see it is oily under there. Possibly it's a head gasket, but you know, most likely it's a pan gasket. Either way, should not be that hard of a repair. And there you can see 26 horsepower, professional Briggs & Stratton. So this one here is a little bit of an upgrade. You got a nice thick steering wheel here with, you know, some rubber trim around the outside instead of just plastic. And a very nice seat on that. And some handles on the side for, you know, holding on when you're mowing on the side of a hill. And then, you know, we got our foot pedal hydro there. This is actually hydro, not just an automatic. And one way you can tell that it's actually hydro is there's a fan on top of the transmission where the belt goes around. It actually, hydros have a fan. When you get one of these MTDs that's a foot pedal automatic that's not a hydro, there won't be a fan. That foot pedal is actually just controlling a belt ratio on a double pulley that's on the back of the transmission. But that one is actually hydro. So I'm going to start this up just so we can hear the pulley that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to start this, and when I lift my foot off that, the belt's going to start going around for the transmission, and you're going to hear a noise, and you may think it's the transmission, but typically the hydro will not make any noise till you push on the pedal for it to move. So when that belt starts to turn, you hear that noise just about right away. That's usually going to be a tensioner pulley or possibly an idler pulley, that those bearings just starting to go bad in that pulley. See, that's just a pulley that's making that noise. That's not the transmission. Usually it's a pulley back here. It's possible that it's a pulley up there in the front under the engine. The best way to figure it out is you take the belt off, or you get under there, you hold the belt away from every pulley and you spin it. If you hear any that are making any noise, that's going to be the culprit. And it's usually not hard to change those pulleys. They're usually not even expensive. They're just a basic pulley with a bearing in them. But that's what came in this month. So that's what came in the last month, basically. That's why I haven't done a video like this in a little while. So we got that Craftsman, we got this Craftsman, both MTDs. Then we got this Honda here that I just recently posted a video on, adjusting the clutches on that. I did make a video. I made one big video and I split it in half. The one I posted was about the drive clutch for the transmission. Still working on the video where I actually get the deck working, which is why that one was out of commission in the first place, because the deck did not come on anymore. But I was able to do a little bit of work on that clutch without replacing anything and get those blades working again. So you'll want to watch for that video. But if this kind of stuff's interesting, seeing what's out there, what's on the market, you know, and the kind of stuff I get in and what I can do to it, you know, I can fix almost anything, but sometimes these are getting wholesaled. So I'm just making a video to do a review on the tractor. And sometimes I actually do fix things on them. But I fix a lot of stuff. But I'm not going to fix everything on every tractor because I just don't need to. But that Honda was one. I got to work on one of those finally for the first time. I've had a bunch of them, but they're Hondas. They hardly need anything. So like and subscribe, and you don't want to miss the next one.